guys, it's Spacey and welcome to what I hope I have titled, because who knows, that's future me's problem, deconstructing and reconstructing clothing, I guess? I don't know. It's not really like a thrift flip because I didn't thrift anything, but I am kind of flipping clothing of mine that I've had sitting in my closet that I kind of just want to do something with. So what's going to happen is I have a bunch of clothing. I was going to be like, I have so many, I don't even remember how many pieces. I don't know. I'm doing, obviously, this intro part after we've already done everything. So, haha, I know if everything was a success or a fail. Hint is kind of in between. Like, it works, but I am not the best seamstress. I'm not a professional. So, like, Lord knows all of my stitches are crooked and things are wonky and everything's a little weird and sad looking. So if you're looking for professional level, this is not the place. If you're looking for drastic, horrible fails, you might be slightly disappointed, but you might not be. Who knows? I don't know. If anything, it should teach you that even if your sewing skills are subpar, you can still make something workable and just don't show people the seams, okay? Just don't show them the inside. All right. But I have a couple of things. I'm going to put them in here. You'll see the little clips and everything of going through the process. The only thing I don't have, I'm just preparing you in advance, I did not sit down and put up the camera and like, here's me putting things through my sewing machine because I wanted to be able to listen to music while I was doing these things, so I didn't do that. Plus, also, I've been thinking about like, oh, hey, when I deconstruct or do anything like that, I'll make a video. But at the time I was just sitting downstairs watching TV and I'm like, I need to be doing something with my hands. I can't just sit and watch TV. I can't just ever do one damn thing. I've always been like that. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to go grab some of the stuff that I've pulled out of my closet, thrown in a pile, and just started kind of going through it and deciding like, you know, let me work on these things. So there was a couple of blazers, it's quite a few that I've pulled out of my closet that I'm like, let's do something with so they're not just plain, let's jazz them up. There's only one in this video because that's the only one I finished. But then there were also things that I was like, I need to seam rip some things and I'm going to adjust. There's a couple of dresses in here that I've turned into skirts because the dress wasn't really my vibe. Or it just, I never wore it. So I was like, let's just make it a skirt. It'll be more useful for me. Good God. You're full of bird dandruff. Jesus Christ. This is a clean shirt. That is not me dandruff. That's bird dandruff, okay? You saw, Jesus. Good God, you got dandruff. You got dry skins. Are you molting? Is that what it is? I know. All right. So don't mind the flakes falling from the bird right now. But anyway, so I sat downstairs and I like seam ripped and did everything. So what you're going to see in the clips is like, this is what I did. You're going to see the middle of the process. So I'm not going to be like, here's the full piece and then I'm going to seam rip. I'm going to kind of show you, this is what it looked like before I actually already seam ripped some things. So just be prepared for that. It's not a full-on start of the process. It's not quite the middle, but it is kind of like, you know, sort of the middle of the beginning. Does that make sense? You'll see when you get into it. I do at least have the pieces where I can show you, this is kind of what it looked like before. I kind of laid them out. And then this is what where I started seam ripping and what my plan was. And then you get to kind of see the end result and the really bad stitching. And then what we'll do after is I'm going to put everything on and kind of show you. I'm not really going to full on style. At least that's not my intent at the moment. I am going to put things on, like put a shirt on, put like whatever, like with one of the jackets that I did, I'll put like something on with it. I'm not going to just be like, here's the jacket. Moderate styling, I guess. I'm not going to do what I normally do for styling where it's like, here's my full hat, glass, jewelry, accessories, everything. But we'll at least put it on with clothing that matches it. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like, here's this skirt that I did and that's just it. I'm going to put like a top that matches it or like a cardigan or something. You know what I mean? That's my plan anyway. Just half-ass styling without all the accoutrements that we usually do. So the accessorizing won't be fully there, but that's not the point of this video. So you know, we'll do that. So I'm going to let past me show you all the clips and everything like that. And then current me or future me, probably current me, will show you what everything looks like now that it's done. Okay, so pardon the weird angle and lighting and everything in these clips and stuff like that, but this is a project that I started. I have had a bunch of stuff in a pile as I was going through my closet. Well, I know I did a closet clean out, not really clean out. It happened, guys. It happened. It was like a week or two where there was a point I'm just like, I just want to go through a couple of my shirts and just pack some things away that are too small that I want to keep. And the next thing I know, I went through every single bin in my house with skinny clothes, took things out, went through, got rid of shit. Like, I don't know, guys, like crazy. But anyway, these are things that I have had in a bin for a while. They do fit, but I'm not an overalls person. I loved this print and pattern. They are a black milk pair of overalls. Okay. And I know that someone's going to be appalled and, but here's the thing, right? Yes, I'm going to deconstruct these, but they are mine and I can do whatever the fuck I want with them. I swear it's kind of like you see DIYs, like the WHY, like why did you do this? And you know, there's so many people who are freaking the fuck out because someone took some piece of antique furniture and painted it white. And it's like, yeah, it might look ugly, but it's their furniture. They can do what the fuck they want with it. And just because you find it offensive and you're like, oh, that's hideous, you just gotta let it go. You know what I mean? So I'm sure there's going to be someone rolling over in their fucking metaphorical grave because I'm going to take this nice pair of black milk overalls and ruin them. But they're mine. And yes, I could sell them to someone else who would love to have these, but I love them and I want to make them wearable for me. So what I did is I just seam ripped the overall portion off of it. So this was just stitched on, same thing with the things on the back. So I just seam ripped it. The only thing we have to do is because it was stitched up here, which you cannot see from the front, it's perfectly fine. There was a loose thread hanging out there. Is the fact that though they made this seam inside, they had stitched all the pieces together instead of like stitching the shorts and then the overall bib on. So seam ripping it meant that. So now I just have to kind of, I forgot it pinned. I think this is like a serger kind of seam. I don't have a serger, so I'm just going to have to use a zigzag or whatever and do it over, stretch it out and sew that. And then these couple little spots back here. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to sew up that seam up, you know, so then they stretch. And now we have a pair of fucking shorts. And I do like black milk shorts. I love this print and now we'll be able to wear them in the summer. So someone is going to be so upset because they would have loved this, but I don't want to resell them because I love this print and it's my item and I can do what I want with it. And I don't know why, like, part of me is like, I shouldn't show anyone that I'm doing it because someone's going to get mad. And it's like, you know what? To hell with that. My item, I can do what I want. I'm going to get a lot more use out of it this way. Much happier with it like this because I bought the overalls thinking like, hey, that's cool. I'm not an overall person, but I'll try them. And I was like, no, I'm never going to be able to do this. It's just not me. It's not who I am. But this, even though I don't wear shorts a lot, I would wear them in the summer if I need shorts. And I do love this print. So I love it a lot more. Get a lot more use this way. Okay, so this is going to be two pieces. They're basically the same. I did the same thing to them. So you can see cute little jellyfish. This was a dress. This is from Svaha. They make really cool, fun, there's fuzzies in this, like STEM kind of thing. So like a science, engineering, you know, whatever. I have another dress of theirs. I bought 3. The thing is, there's something about the neckline I just do not like. It is not flattering on me. It feels very puritanical to me. Like, listen, I'm not like, my tits have to be out. Obviously, I wear higher neck things like t-shirt necklines or turtlenecks, but there's something about this. It's a V-neck, but it's so conservative that it's just like too much, and I just feel like I don't feel like me. I don't feel comfortable in it. It's weird because it's not like I want it to be super low and booby, but I guess maybe I'd be more comfortable with that, and then like even a thing like a tank top or something underneath. There's just something about this that I put it on, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't. This doesn't work for me, and I can't. So I've worn this one once and the one underneath I have worn, but I'm like, I'm not comfortable in them that way, but I love them. So this one was a long sleeve. So this one had a waistband. You can obviously see that what I did was seam ripped And I kind of just cut it a little bit and then just ripped the damn thing off. So we do have to hem it. So I ripped the top off from that waistband. Sorry, the lighting's kind of terrible now that I'm blocking the only lamp in here. And we're just going to zigzag stitch and make this a skirt that is more of a skater skirt, obviously, because it's got like that thing. Not exactly the vibe that I usually wear, but I will get more use out of this out of a skirt than out of a dress with a neckline that I'm not sure how to work with and I just don't feel comfortable in and whatever. This I can pair with whatever I want and I'll just probably get more use out of it. I say that, but I do have another dress that I did the same thing to. I cut the top part off because I didn't like it again. And I probably haven't worn it since then. I haven't worn a lot of my skater skirts or anything in a while. To be honest, I don't wear any of my clothes except for if I'm doing videos for you guys because I don't leave my house. So, you know, but theoretically speaking, instead of this hanging up in my closet as a dress that I'm never going to wear because the neckline, every time I put it on, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't feel right. I feel like a preschool teacher or something and that's not really where I'm going. Like, I don't know. Even when I was in my 50s era or my pinup era, the floofy underskirt underneath it or something, there was something about the neckline that I just do not like. It is really great if you want a cute neckline, but you don't want your boobs hanging out. Like, it definitely gives you a lot of coverage. I do recommend the brand, honestly. Like, this is all made out of cotton. It's beautifully made. It's nice and thick. They have fucking pockets. And it's cotton, so it's easy to fucking wear. I'm pretty sure this glows in the dark, too. But I just couldn't get over the neckline. Didn't work for me. And these, you know me, if you've been here, I typically wear a 2X in most things. These are larges and they fit me fucking perfectly. So their sizing is actually very fucking, like, generous. So, I mean, technically I probably could have worn an extra large. I think I bought these when I was a little bit smaller. So, you know, but I would check their size charts. But it's not like, oh, you know, hey, I wear a 2X, but in this brand I have to wear a 4 or 5 because because if you wear a medium, you wear a 2X. You know, it's not like that. They're nice, decently sized. They're sized appropriately. You know what I mean? So anyway, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to hem this, make it a skirt. Technically, the other one that I have that I did this to, I might whip out of my closet and hem because I had just like seam ripped it and I never hemmed it. This one was worse because I kind of, like I said, I started ripping it and then I just ripped the whole fucking thing off. And then I was like, then there's little bits of holes and things. I'm like, yeah, we're going to have to... I got lazy. Okay, but anyway. So we're going to do that. So the other thing we're going to do, let's get this out of the way. Same thing to this dress. If I can pull this out of the way. Same situation. This one's more of a tee, like shirt dress. But again, the neckline just not flattering. I just can't do anything with it. I don't feel comfortable in it. This one did not have a defined waistband. It just had a waist seam. So I went up 4 or 5 inches, chopped it off, and then rolled it. So we're going to definitely have to hem this one. You know, but this one's got the planet. It's got the solar system on it, and I fucking love it. Like, I love this. Only time I ever wore this, I wore it with a cardigan I have that's a Star Trek cardigan that is oversized as well, and then you kind of like tie it up or whatever, but I'm like, I want to get more use. I want to be able to mix and match this a little better. I want to be able to like do other stuff, and then I don't know, like, I'm sure I could find other ways to have worn these, like, oh, put a hoodie on over it or whatever. But there's something every time I put on the neckline, I'm like, oh, no. And I just don't feel comfortable. So this will be better for me. And instead of sitting in my closet, they'll just sit in my closet, but I'll feel better about them. So, you know, whatever. This might be hard to see because it's white on white. But anyway, it is just a button-up, sleeveless kind of white shirt. You can clearly tell I cut the collar off. So this was, again, this is a black milk piece. Hopefully in the video when I'm editing it and putting all the things together, I put the other black milk piece that I'm butchering in here before this. So everybody, you know, oh, pardon my phone danglies dingling in your ear. Hopefully I put that one in there first because otherwise this doesn't make sense. If not, whatever. I got this in a mystery bundle, so like whatever, it was just whatever shit they had left over or seconds or, you know, whatever. It's not exactly my vibe. Like, yeah, it's just a button-up shirt and it's sleeveless. You could wear it with a cardigan, whatever. And I was like, I mean, it fits. Everything was fine with it, but I had it sitting in my closet for a while and I was like, I'm never going to wear it. I thought like maybe I could get use. I'm not going to. So what I did was I seam ripped the collar off, so it's got the folds, and we're just going to, my fingers look like sausages. Jesus Christ, guys. We're just gonna stitch that back together, and we're gonna make just like a cute little collar necklace. You know what I mean? Like, you can wear a bow tie without a collar. You can wear a bow tie as a necklace, and we're just going to turn that into like a neck piece, like a fancy thing. I've got some fun like collar clips that you can add to jazz it up. Maybe we'll put pins or something on it. I might just leave it white, and then, you know, it's obviously not going to be like a dickie where you put anything under it, because you'd have to have like a turtleneck, because obviously, you know, it's not like it doesn't have the thing. It's not a huge collar. But it's just for the effect of like, okay, you know, I'm going to turn it into like kind of a necklace. It'll be a free-floating thing, and we'll see what happens. Worst case scenario, that looks really stupid, but hey, I'd rather try and maybe have something useful that's more useful to me than just a shirt, because to be fair, it's decent quality. It's not like, oh, it's garbage or anything like that, but it's like, I'm not gonna, like, Black Milk, yes, has a resale market, but I highly doubt anyone's clamoring for just a plain button-up. You can get those anywhere, and yeah, I mean, I could donate it, but I've got so much other shit. I might as well try to get something useful out of it, and this seemed kind of an interesting idea, so we're going to try that, and then we'll see if it doesn't work. Maybe we'll bedazzle it. Who knows? Whatever. We'll see. But that just needs to be folded and stitched up. I didn't have any extra clips when I was seam ripping everything downstairs. I didn't bring enough down, so we'll have to just clip it and stitch it. Try to stitch it as close to where the original seam was, but I don't know how well that's going to go, because that's very, very, very small, and I sew very crooked. So this is a Black Milk, obviously you can see the tag, blazer that I bought a while ago. Fits perfectly everywhere except for the arms. This is not stretchy fabric. The lining is, you know, the satiny material. It's tight as fuck. So originally I was going to cut the seams and then kind of make it like the cape things. I'll put a picture in if I can find one of like what I'm talking about, but you've probably seen them, where instead of like the stitching arm, it's like they're just open. And then I was like, do I do that, or do I kind of cut the sleeve up here, like where it's going to be tight, put a lace panel in that would be like stretchier, right? I decided the first thing I'm going to do is try the cape kind of thing, because if I don't like it, worst case, just stitch up the seams and then you can do the lace thing, but I didn't want to like cut, do the lace, and then I'll work. It's a good thing I did actually do that, because I had to, you can see, I cut the seam like all the way up on the inside, but I also had to cut a little bit of this away, because even just cutting up the middle with this sewn, it was way too tight in here. So I had to kind of cut this. One sleeve is cut a little bit too much, I think, around the back, so I'm going to stitch it up a little bit more. I think this one's the fine one. But what I'm going to do, because obviously when you lay this, it comes out, I'm going to fold this in, you know, and then kind of taper it out so it'll be straight when you fold, because like, see, this is the seam. But I don't want, see if I can fix this, sorry. What you don't want is you don't want it to be like this, you know? You don't want it to point out. So I'm going to have to pin it and kind of taper this in so that this area where it's straight ends up matching down here where it's straight. So just kind of fold it in a little bit. Kind of like that. Kind of almost folds a little bit. Something like that. And then we'll make it like a cape jacket so that these will be open, and then it'll fit, it'll be wearable. And then if you wear something with cool sleeves underneath, it'll look kind of neat. Yes, would I like it as a regular blazer? Sure, but I love this so fucking much. I hate the fact that the sleeves are microscopically fucking tiny, because like the freaking wrist and the arms all the way at the top are basically the same length. Like, hi, a little bit of room in the arms when you're making it. Because I think this is, was this like a 14? Or 16? It's an 18 for God's sakes. And this fits me perfectly around the body, but the arms were so ridiculously fucking tiny. So we're gonna have to pin that and stitch it and then see how it comes out. Editing Spacey, I kind of forgot to take videos or do like a thing for this particular jacket right here.
So basically what this is a Harry Potter blazer that I got from Tord like 100 years ago that I never wear. It's been hanging in my closet. And I was like, let's do something. Let's cover up the patch on it. Not that I don't like Harry Potter, but I was like, I want to get some more use out of it. So what we have here are some ideas. I didn't know what I was originally going to do. And then I decided to lay out, I had this calcifer patch. And so I laid out a bunch of different patterns. I had a bunch more layouts. It took me forever to come out with the layout for this. But just using sequin stars and patches and things like that. I was just gonna put calcifer on the pocket and stuff like that. So it's gonna be, we're changing it from Harry Potter Magical to Howl's Moving Castle Magical. You'll see the transition later, the layout that I ended up going with. Again, those were just a couple of ideas that I had at first. And then I also ended up putting stuff on the collar and the cuffs. So you'll see that later in the process. But I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a sneak peek on that one with just some of the layout ideas so you can kind of see what we might be working with.
The shorts are done. They look perfect. No, that's not true. Okay, so like obviously like you can kind of see like it doesn't look perfect. When you, let me see, put my leg up here because I can't have to. When you're stretching them out, you don't really notice anything. Obviously, from the inside, the stitching looks like garbage. But the thing is, they stretch. You can't tell. Okay, they do stretch though. Hold on. Can you? Okay, hold on. See? Never mind. You can't tell, but they do stretch. So at least the zigzag worked. They look like trash on the inside. The stitching is just the worst. But again, I don't have a serger to do stuff like that. So, and I did overlap the stitch like over here in case this starts to unravel. So it does come in here a little bit. Yeah. So is it perfect? God, no. And my sewing machine likes to sew crooked. I don't fucking know. I am holding it straight. Like I'm holding it tight and my sewing machine is still somehow turning. And I'm like, what the fuck? I do not fucking know. But I mean, I'm sure I've got to align something or do something, but whatever, it is what it is. And it, again, it doesn't look the best when it's laying flat like this. And like, that's kind of like not stitched perfectly along the seam that it should have been on and whatnot. But when you put them on, it'll be fine. And here's the thing. It's not like I'm wearing, you're never going to see it. So good enough for me. And here, this is proof that even if your sewing skills suck, you can manage to do something that's as shitty as my multiple zigzag stitch, because I went over it a couple of times, you know, holding the, and like one time the fabric might not have been as tense as the next time, like holding it as tight, you know. So even if your stitches look stupid, they're inside, no one's going to notice. And hi, now I've got a cute pair of jellyfish shorts that I'll actually get to wear. Cool. Okay, so the skirts are done. So, all right, fun times. It looks wonky because I was stretching it as I put it in there. So it's all, when you put it on, you don't notice that it's like, you know, wrinkly like this. And obviously, why does that, okay, it looks like it's pulling up, but it's not. I originally sewed it down, I took my sweet ass fucking time, sewed it down, did a zigzag stitch. And then I noticed, of course, the back keeps rolling. So then the raw edge would be sticking up. So I went through and I trimmed it down as close as I freaking could. I know what you're thinking. Wow, that cut looks amazing. It's not, obviously. Like, obviously anyone who's ever sewn anything in their life knows that's not it. So then I was like, great. I'm probably going to be wearing it under something, whatever. You know, but it drove me bonkers. So I decided I'm going to roll it again. So what I did was I rolled it again, and then restitched. So I basically stitched this twice. That's why this stitch looks like messy as fuck, because I was so tired of doing it. I'm like, fuck that. I put it through my sewing machine at warp goddamn speed. But, you know, for warp speed and not really paying attention, it's not terrible. Also, it's black on black, so when you look at it, you can't even freaking see it. It still does roll down in the back, but at least if it rolls down, you know, if you're behind and you see that, you're seeing at least a decent edge as opposed to like jaggedy edges, because no matter how close I tried to cut, obviously there's going to be, it's not a perfectly straight cut. There'd be like little, like it'd be a snip in here and then there. Obviously this isn't straight, but it still looks nicer. So anyway, there's that. Not perfect, but again, I probably wouldn't be wearing it tucked into anything or anything tucked into it. And even if I was, I put a belt or something over it, you know, and that's going to roll down because back fat. So like whatever. And you can't wear it too high because then the way it's supposed, where the waistband would have sat on the dress is naturally around the fattest part of my waist. It works. If you try to pull it up a little, then this is way too big. Also, it fit better, like, all around your body as a dress. When you make it a skirt, the waist is a little bit bigger depending on where you put it. So not a perfect fit anymore, but I don't want to try taking it in or anything. It's fine. It'll fit. I can put it at my natural, like around my belly button or up above, like a little higher waist, and you just put a belt on over it or something, or a shirt over it, and you're never going to notice that. So not too bad. Not too bad. This one is worse, but that's also because, I did not pay attention at one point. So definitely the crookedness. I was going very slow and careful when I was sewing. Being very, very careful to make sure so the stitches would be straight. Obviously, I had to on this one, I rolled it and clipped it because I had just folded it under, but I knew it was going to do the same wonky rolling as the other one. So I rolled the seam underneath and then stitched like that. Don't mind this. This is the front. It looks messy because I started on the front, but of course, as I was stitching this area, okay, and I did it from the inside so I can make sure it was going in. But as I was doing it, when this part was coming through, I was down here because I was doing it like that was the front, whatever, it doesn't matter. I was like trying to like make sure the roll, it was tucked underneath, and I wasn't paying attention, and I was definitely guiding it wrong. So the stitch ended up coming up, crooked, and I was like, fucking I already can sew not straight. And then that made it worse. And then this raw edge was sticking out. So I went back over it. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Look, even if it was stitched perfectly, it was never going to be the way I rolled it. And for some reason, even the waistband on the dress isn't perfectly like straight. So like this would not be, you know what I mean? So it doesn't sit perfect anyway. It's probably just the way I cut it and whatnot. And I probably could have done better with measuring and exact, but I'm half-assing it, and here's the thing. It works. It's fine. Yes, I should have used green thread, but we're going with cheap-ass thread that I bought a long time ago when I was making sock monsters. I'm not going out and buying expensive thread when I have bulk, whatever. And I also didn't want to, my colored thread is very, teeny tiny little, rolls, and it would have taken, 50 of these, and I would have had to redo my bobbin and everything 500 times, and that would have been worse. So black it is. It was easier. And again, you're not going to see this. I would probably put something over it, a belt or something, honestly. For my purposes, it's better as opposed to a dress hanging in my closet where the sleeves and the neckline and everything don't work for me and it just hangs there and, never gets worn. This will go in my closet and hang there and probably also never get worn, but has more of a shot. Okay, so I sewed this up. And it's not terrible. It's not the best. It starts getting a little wonky over here, where it starts getting a little wavy. And also, there's this part here where it was bunching up. But here's the thing. That's going to be folded under. You're never going to see that. I'm going to go show you what it looks like on. And I got another idea. Okay, so here is it on. I've got it clipped in the back, as you can see, because I want it to be a little bit tighter. Without that, it kind of fits like a normal collar. I'll take that off and show you what it looks like. But this is kind of more what I wanted. It's going to be more like a necklace than a fake collar. Because if you take this off, obviously, then it fits and you're wearing a shirt and it looks like you're wearing a collar underneath it, which, sure, but then your shirt's moving around and it looks like I don't want it to look like a fake collar. That's not the intention I was going for. I was going more for the necklace thing. So I think what I'm going to do is cut a little bit off and then stitch it down the middle like I had it so it'll fit more like a necklace. And then you take it off like there. And then you can put a bow tie on with it, double effect, or collar pins or something like that. So I think I'm going to cut it and do that. We're going to adjust. All right. So it's not the prettiest cut or whatever I've ever done. And the funny thing is I did it and I went, oh my fucking God, I did it on the wrong side. No, smart me. I thought I did it on the wrong side, but you know what? It's actually not, because when you button this up, right, yes, the seam looks like it's now on the outside, but then when you flip the collar down, it looks right. So, hi, accidental! You know, whatever, and it fits the way I want to, so we'll, you know, unfortunately that looks not perfect either, but you know, you don't really notice as much on, so it's fine. This gets hidden and we noticed that, so yeah. I feel like it's still not quite as tight as I was originally thinking. I think I still wanted it a little bit snugger. Oh, okay, it's also, you know, so it's not quite, you know, as tight as I wanted it, but then I was like, if I tighten it more, I don't want to get too, I don't know. We'll see if I decide to adjust it, but it would basically just be the same thing. So we'll see. We'll see how I feel. Does it seem too big? I don't know. I swear, and then I did it tighter and I was like, yeah, that's great. And then I put it on and I feel like it gets bigger every single time I sew it. Is that even possible? Okay, yeah. I took a little bit off on the inside. I haven't cut it, you know, but I think this is more what I wanted. So, you know, I just have to now trim that. Don't mind all the boxes. Like, that's all my sewing shit just in boxes. So I'm just gonna have to trim that. So I'm just gonna do that and then we're good with this piece. Okay, I got one side sewn up. I didn't show you the process of like pinning it up because that like took fucking forever and whatever. But, and I haven't done the other side. I haven't even pinned the other side because this one, the seam had ripped a little bit further. So I'm like, I need to make sure this side fits, works. Then I'll pin the other side because I'm going to have to stitch up here. But, you can see the stitching is not perfect. Again, I took my time. My bobbin ran out right here. So when I redid it, it didn't get right on the line. I also sewed it from the inside because I wanted to make sure I caught the lining fabric. You know what I mean? So it's not perfect. You don't really notice too bad. Honestly, even the curve, it actually doesn't look too bad because again, it came out, remember, and then you had the armpit wedge. So I kind of just curved it all in. I cut off the corner a little. Doesn't look too bad. I did try it on just to make sure everything looked okay. It should have, I guess, technically when it's on, you kind of notice that this curves out a little. It's not too bad. It's fine. You don't notice the back side, the back curve. I did the same thing. This one's got more of a curve and the stitching is goddamn awful. Don't mind that, but whatever. You don't see that because that's kind of under your arm. So that's nice. And then it was extremely difficult trying to get the lining back together on the inside. So you can see it's kind of all bunched up and shit. But, you know, when it's on, you don't notice. The armpit at least is finished. And the stitching is, again, it's bad. I'm not a seamstress, guys. And for some reason, like I said, when I'm putting it in there and I'm going very slow, my sewing machine is pulling things the wrong way. And I'm like jamming the fabric this way and my sewing machine's wanting to go the other way. Something's got to be aligned wrong. Or I am just completely bonkers and crooked. I don't know. But to be fair, it's not, safe aside from like right there, some of the stitching down lower isn't too bad. It's not too bad. I do have to cut off some extra strings and do it. But coming along, and you know what? I don't hate it. I think it actually looks, it fits now, at least this way, and not bad for the fact that I seam ripped the whole thing and I was like, holy fucking shit, and trying to get like all of this together and then sewn back up, you know. There's still some extra, that's from where I gotta fix that. That is where the seam was ripped and everything like that. And, oh, you know what? No, it's fine. I thought I saw a little, okay, you can't see it. Oh my God. I thought I saw a little gap right there, but that's just the flower. So like, yeah, that's not sewn up perfectly or whatever, but you know, we're working with what we have. I just got to cut off the excess strings, but so far so good. I'll pin up the other side so that, and of course, obviously I'll show you what everything looks like done and on when we're done. Also, everyone say hi to my sewing machine and give a little applause, okay? Because it may not be perfect and it may sew a little crooked. I'm sure like it's 90% me, 10% the sewing machine. But also, I've had this goddamn sewing machine for 20 fucking years. So like, trooper is a little trooper. So applause for our little trooper for going and being a grandpa, technically. So, progress. So, I sewed on, like hand hand so yeah, well, the sequin stars and then calcifer onto the pocket, but I was like, that was so freaking difficult because the stitches kept getting stuck. Like as I'm trying to go through, especially down here when you're trying to get in here, to the inner fabric. And it was like, oh dear God. And so I was like, this is going to be really freaking hard, these like little stars. So I resorted to fabric glue. Like it's not like this is going to get washed that much. And if it does, it goes on the gentle cycle, and I have fabric glue I can re-put the stars on. So just putting those little stars on with fabric glue. And then because I was sitting waiting on this side, I decided to do the collar as well. So, you know, we've just got Howl here, and it's supposed to look like, you know, because he's got his hand out. So, you know, stars. And then, so slightly, obviously not perfect to the layout ideas that I had. But it's basically the layout, but unfortunately it's like you lay it out and it looks good, but then when you start sewing, things adjust and everything, which is why like the blue star and the pink didn't end up in the exact same spots, and you can see a little bit of the original like patch, the little original like, you know, embroidery work that's there, because as I was sewing, you know, things moved and it's like, son of a bitch. But, you know, I just didn't want to try to risk this with ironing, because velvet and ironing, and I was like, I'd rather just stitch it on. So, but that's taken forever. And then, you know, these, I was like, this is going to be so hard, especially trying to get it through this layer without going all the way through, because you don't want it on the inside. So just trying to stitch just the one layer, I was like, you know what, we'll just glue the small stars. But, you know, progress. I think it'll come out pretty fun. It'll be way more wearable for me this way. You know, just because it's a little more unique and a little more statement-y and a little more me. Here is what used to be the Harry Potter jacket, now the Howl jacket, all done. You can see the collar is done. We got this side over here with our lovely little Howl pin. Look, it's like he's sending the stars out. That's why I did it that way. Calcifer and turnip head. And, of course, our giant calcifer over here. Of course, he's got calcifers fucking everywhere all over this. And then our pocket is done. And now you can still put stuff in the pocket. In fact, there's extra buttons for the jacket in the pocket. And then our sleeves. So this just, I originally had them laid out to put them on both sides, but you're never going to see the back. You'd see them more on the front. So I put them on this side, and then this is the other sleeve. And we will do a try on eventually to see it all together on and see what it looks like. So, so my new shorts. I gotta be honest, I think this is up there. The Howl jacket is my favorite. This is probably my second favorite. The collar, yeah, you know, I like the way it turned out, but that was pretty simple. But as for like the clothing pieces, the Howl jacket, then these are probably my second favorite, because I don't wear shorts a lot, but I'm sure as hell gonna actually wear these, as opposed to, again, I brought these at least 4 years ago, because I've lived here for 3 years and I had them in my old apartment. Could have been 4 or 5 years ago. And I was like, oh, but I love the pattern and overalls. Maybe I will wear them. No, I didn't like even, I'll wear the bib down. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not an overall person, okay? I can do suspenders, but I can't do the overall thing, okay? There's just lines. I'm not an overall person. It looks stupid on me. So I love these so much more now. And you can't really tell, obviously, that anything's going on. Like, if you look on the inside, yes, you can tell. But on the outside, you can't tell that these were never not shorts. So a lot of seam ripping, not a lot to fix, say, because all the seams were already lined up. I just had to restitch them. Looks like a mess on the inside. Nobody's seeing the inside of my shorts. So, you know, but I love these a lot. So, yeah. And I'm going to be cropped out of this one a little, but here is the first, well, one of the skirts. The jellyfish skirt that was a dress. It is a little bit big now because it doesn't have the top and the thing. So I do think I need to take it back to my sewing machine, figure out where I want to like wear it, and then kind of obviously inside out, and then just kind of tighten up just the waistband. Like just stitch this a little bit tighter, because if you wear it even on your natural waist, it does kind of gap. And if you wanted to wear it high-waisted, it is like super gigantic. Even if you put a belt over it, it's still, you're putting a belt and then you put your hands in your pockets and then the skirt kind of like falls down. So I do think this needs to be tightened up a little. But for the purposes of what we were doing, it's not too bad. Obviously, the hemline looks like garbage. I probably would never wear it like this. I might wear it like, say, with the shirt over it. You know, then you don't notice. Or again, a big, like one of my corset belt things over it or something to hide that terrible stitch job. But, you know, it works. It does what it was supposed to do. It's now more wearable for me, even though, again, who knows how long it's going to sit in my closet and not actually get worn. But that's 80% of my wardrobe anyway, because I don't go anywhere. Cut off again, but, you know, that's just so you can see the skirt. So this is the other skirt. Same situation. We did both of them at the same time. I just need to, like, I think kind of pull in the waist. Maybe take a inch max between both sides off it totally. But, I mean, this, you wearing a shirt over it, you don't notice, like, anything like that. And this one's actually a little bit smaller. It doesn't have quite the amount of excess room that the other one did. There are two different dresses, obviously two different styles. They might fit differently, but this is what I did the last time I wore this as an actual dress, was wearing it with this cardigan. Ha ha ha. I got it from like a Geek Fuel or like one of those nerdy subscription boxes. You know, and I just did this, put it on over, tied it, whatnot. And I'm just gonna bring you up a teeny bit. Hi, this way I can see at least my fucking head, you know, because you can still see the skirt, like, whatever. You know, but I don't want to be stuck with this is the only way I can wear it. Pretend this is the full dress, like the dress with this over it. And, like, for the purposes, like, this shirt itself is a little snug fitted, and the arms are tight, so if I was wearing this dress with a t-shirt and then the t-shirt, it wouldn't really work. If this had been, like, a skater dress, yeah, okay, fine, but as a t-shirt kind of dress with a t-shirt over it, it's just too much. So this, again, like I said, works out better. I will want to wear this a little bit more. And to be honest, you could always eventually pull it in the back and make it a pencil skirt if I really wanted to. But this one, I don't know. I think this one came out a little bit better because I think it's not as, don't mind my pantyhose, but like it's not as loose wearing it in the waist, where I could just, again, take like an inch off max here in the waistband, the fake waistband that I kind of made, and do that. So, but yeah, pretty happy with it overall. Because again, you're not going to see the waistband. Shirts are going to be worn over it like this, but this one at least fits a little bit better to start off. We'll need a little bit less adjusting in the waist. So, all right, so jacket that's not a jacket anymore. I am wearing shorts with pantyhose underneath because I haven't shaved my legs in God knows how long. So, you know, I really don't need you seeing that while we're modeling skirts and stuff. But I also have pants in this pattern, but I wanted to wear it with the shorts. Yeah, as you can see, like this is almost, it's buttoned up and it's not super tight or anything. So the fact that the arms were like this big around is a little fucking ridiculous, Black Milk. That's all I have to say. But, and I kind of put it with this dark green bodysuit that I turned into a top. We talked about this in another styling video, but, you know, I don't know. I kind of dig it. I'm mad about it because I can get wear out of it. And I know there's going to be people, the people who are just psycho about other people's possessions, who are like, why did you ruin the perfectly good coat you could have given to somebody else? Because it's my possession and I can do whatever the fuck I want with it. You're not entitled to my shit. I don't know why people are like that. Like, listen, you You might not like the outcome. Like, hey, I wouldn't do that, but cool for you, I guess. That's fine. You don't have to like it. I'm the one that has to like it. Because if I didn't like it and I was like, fuck, I hate this. Well, now I'm fucked and nobody else can use it because, whatever. But yeah. So anyway, like a little more up close. My collar's popped a little. Hi. Evil supervillain era. Yes. Anyway. It's not perfect, but I don't think you notice really too much because you're going to be moving around and it's not like even when I'm standing still, like you can see like this kind of curves out a little. It's probably different than this curve. I tried to do the best I could to make them even, but I am not a seamstress. We've gone over this and I'm lazy. But to be fair, at least it's all stitched, like the lining's stitched down and the armpits don't look too terrible, Let me take it off because I don't know if I don't think I showed when I finished the second arm, but like, the armpit seam, it's not the best because it starts getting bunched up and stuff, but you don't notice that really from the outside. So even if you saw my armpit from the outside, you're going to see that. You're not going to see the kind of bunch job. And honestly, for all the extra material that there was, it's not bad, but I like it. It's a hell of a lot more wearable for me. I also have, did I mention I have pants that match these? So I can now wear my full-on fucking suit with the shorts or this and actually use this damn jacket that I've probably had for over a year or more. I don't know when they came out with this, that I have not ever been able to wear. Now I can wear it. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of capey. Now, would it be better if it were like a full cape in the back, like that those connected, somehow? But yeah, if you were making your own and you had your own fabric so that you could have, say, the arm of this kind of connect somehow here. So like, yeah, if you're doing this, it's all connected. Like, but I would only be able to do a mini cape. You know what I'm saying? And that, I don't think I'm talented enough for that. This was difficult enough, so. But anyway. I like it. That's all that matters. And not that these were included, but I did mention them in the last video that we did styling where I styled one of these, that these used to be bodysuits from Killstar. Didn't do, obviously, any of the work in this video, but I will show you what I did. So this was originally a bodysuit, same with the black one that I had. And I just like chopped the crotch off and I just put like I just got bias tape and stitched it up. This was the original leg hole. I just stitched bias tape on it. So like that's all I did on the front and the back to kind of like make it a hem to make it more of a top. Because again, I mentioned in that video, the styling one, that they didn't have snaps in the crotch and this is a 4X. I normally wear like a 2, 3X. This is the width, that's all that you have to get your ass into it. Now, it's actually not too bad, but like my ass and hips, it's like, okay. And I can't imagine if you actually wore a 4X, how fucking difficult that would be. Plus, then the fact that it was literally digging into your crotch and ass, and then you're trying to get your arms into it and then try to wedge that down every time you had to fucking pee. So this worked a lot better. Looks like a mess, but I'm never not going to have them tucked in. So anyway, okay. So I don't know the order in which we're doing I'm putting in the clips, but so obviously these might be out of order, but we have our Howl jacket and the fake collar. I decided to put them together. So I just wanted to show the jacket from far back. Yay! Anyway. And then a little bit up close so you can see our lovely little patches. And again, these ones are just glued on because it would have been a pain in the ass to sew. And then see if I can get a little closer. He's turned around. Whoops! Fun thing with using pins, okay? And then our sleeves. I kind of wanted to keep them on this side. Originally, I had laid them out to be on both, but when you're standing, right? And you're kind of just standing around. You don't really notice the back like this. The way there are is like, you're going to notice that bit more. So that's why I did them there. And then, whipping off our clothes. Obviously I put my bow tie on. So, our fake collar that you can use with a bow tie. Hi, this is probably the first time you've seen a bow tie on me. And fun fact, I have like 20 of these. Well, I always forget that I have them, but I think I put it on them. No, it's fine. Just move that down there. But yeah, here you go. So you could just wear it like that. You could put a real tie on it, another necklace. You know, I just wanted to kind of wear it with my Howl's Moving Castle bow tie. Tie it in with the jacket. And of course, you know, you can see the wonky stitch, but you know what? Ain't nobody seeing that from the angle that anyone sees it. This is actually, okay, the jacket, that's probably my favorite. I think that came out the best. This is like the second because, you know, hi. You're never going to notice that it's you only are going to see this little bit of stitching and that looks fine. And then honestly, because I can't see it like the back, like that looks pretty damn good to me too. So there were those two pieces. Again, I don't know what order I showed you the clips on, whatever. So these parts I'm going to try to put in order. The modeling with like, we did this first, here's the outcome. But these two I wanted to put together. So those might be out of order. So don't mind that. Okay, so that was everything, I think. I hope. But if not, I'll go back and make other parts and put them in. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that was everything. I'm pretty happy with how things turned out. Yes, the skirts need to be adjusted. I think I need to just take them in. I think the space skirt kind of works the way it is. It's a little loosey-goosey, but like when you put a t-shirt over it, it works fine. I will need to take a little bit off in the waistband of the jellyfish skirt, but like whatever. That's simple compared to everything else. But I'm happy I got some of this stuff accomplished. Next time, if I do another video where we're adjusting stuff, I'll actually think more of you guys and be like, all right, let's film befores and then after, as opposed to this is what it kind of looked like laid out like in this one. But sometimes I just need to get shit done because I don't know. Do I just have ADHD that was never diagnosed? I don't fucking know. Sometimes I feel like I do because I'm like sitting there, I need to do something now, like right now, the second, have to do it. And that's kind of the way these were. I pulled out like all the blazers and things, all the things I wanted to adjust in my closet, and I put them in a pile. And then I was like, I'm bored. Let me just seam rip everything. Let's just get started, you know? And then I was like, you know what? Now that I've seam ripped everything, why don't we actually make it useful, make a video? To be fair, in the process of between seam ripping and finally get it done, it's probably been a couple of weeks. That's the only thing. It's one of those like, I got to go upstairs and do at least one of the pieces, you know, so at least one thing, you know? So the Howl jacket probably took me the longest because I'd be like, all right, I'm going to do the pocket. Sewing the larger stars on that took fucking forever, which is why I was like, I'm not going to try to sew the small stars on because the amount of times I had in the pocket and I was sewing and that thread still somehow caught the jacket behind when I'm in the pocket. I'm like, what the fuck? The amount of times that happened, I was like, I'm not doing this with the smaller stars, not happening. I was like, I'm gonna have to be way too careful, and even being careful, it was not working, and I was like, I'm gonna lose my shit. So I was like, we're gluing them. I hope you enjoyed this really bad flipping of my clothes, not a thrift flip. I love watching people like transform shit, and I'm always amazed at how like they can sew straight. I don't know. Some of them we saw, I was like, that's my fault because I wasn't paying attention. I was like trying to line something up and I'm like, oh, now my shit's crooked. But there are times I watch and I am going like this and somehow everything is going this way and I'm like fighting my machine to go that. And I'm like, why? Again, my sewing machine is like 20 fucking years old. It still works like a champ though. So even though it's a little bit crooked, we just have to go a lot slower. I noticed if I was going really, really, really slow, it is okay. But then I'm like, oh dear God, are we done yet? So I gotta learn some patience and work with my machine I gotta be a little bit more patient with the grandpa. Okay. But anyway, so I would like to do more of these. I have a couple of other blazers and things that I really do want to like do things to, because I had so many in my closet and I was like, I don't need all these plain black blazers, but we can do fun shit to them. Like, we can put lots of charms and pins and things and whatever. And I've got some other ideas. I got some pin boards, but once I come up with ideas and things that I want to do for those, we might eventually do those. But this was at least taking care of some of the stuff. So, hey, thanks to you guys, or the 3 people that might watch this, I was actually motivated to get shit done because I was like, I'll make a video and then 4 people will watch it. See, I just upped it 4 people. And awesome. So anyway, I'll see you around in other videos. Toodles!